Hey guys, it's me, CyberGamer Secrets, and today we're diving into one of the darkest hidden details in the Silent Hill 2 remake that most players completely missed. What you're about to see isn't a jump scare or a glitch, it's a psychological moment so subtle that once you notice it, it changes how you see the entire story. You thought the Silent Hill 2 remake was just a beautiful remaster, until players discovered something hidden beneath the surface that completely changes how you see the game. A psychological detail so subtle and disturbing that most players will never notice it, and once you do, it's impossible to forget. This moment happens in room 312 of the Lakeview Hotel, one of the most important locations in Silent Hill 2, where the truth about James and Mary finally comes together. But in the remake, something new was added. Something almost invisible unless you know exactly what to look for and have the patience to wait. Walk into the room, stand directly in front of the mirror, and don't move at all for exactly 11 seconds. At first, nothing feels wrong. James is simply staring at his reflection like normal, and everything seems completely fine. Then something begins to change, very slowly and almost imperceptibly, like reality itself is starting to break. The reflection starts to glitch slightly, just enough to feel unnatural, like the game is struggling to hold the image together. That happens. For a single frame, something appears that most players will completely miss unless they are actively looking for it. James's eyes turn completely black, and behind him, Mary suddenly appears, but not as you remember her. Her body is decayed, rotting, and unnatural, and she's standing silently behind him, smiling directly at the player. Most people never notice this moment because it happens so fast that your brain doesn't even register it consciously. But the players who did see it all describe the same feeling, a deep sense of discomfort and the impression that they witnessed something they weren't supposed to see. Things get even more disturbing when players started recording the scene and analyzing it frame by frame to understand what was really happening. When slowed down to 0.25 speed, a faint and distorted sound becomes noticeable in the background, something that isn't heard during normal gameplay. It's a barely audible whisper, warped and unnatural, and when reversed, it sounds like a voice saying, "You did this to me." Moments like this are not random, because developers like Bloober Team are known for intentionally adding subtle psychological horror details rather than obvious jump scares. Nothing in Silent Hill is ever placed without meaning, and even the smallest visual detail is often connected to the deeper story. This scene isn't just a hidden Easter egg. It directly connects to the core themes of Silent Hill 2 and the psychological state of James himself. James isn't a traditional protagonist, because from the very beginning of the game, he is hiding something from both the player and himself. The game never clearly tells you the truth. Instead, it shows it through symbolism, environments, and small, hidden moments like this one. The mirror is especially important because it represents truth and self-reflection. But in Silent Hill, truth is never shown in a normal way. When James looks into the mirror, he isn't just seeing himself, he's seeing the version of himself that he is trying to deny. Mary's appearance in her decayed form reflects her illness and the reality of what happened before the events of the game. That single frame is not just a scare, it's guilt breaking through denial for a brief moment that the player is allowed to witness. What makes this even more powerful is that the game never forces you to see it. You have to choose to stand still, to wait, and to pay attention. That means you're not just observing the horror, you're participating in it by triggering the moment yourself. Some players even believe this isn't the only hidden detail like this in the game, and that there are other subtle changes that happen without being noticed. There have been reports of reflections not matching perfectly, small visual inconsistencies, and sounds that don't appear on the first playthrough. This has led to the theory that the world of Silent Hill isn't stable, but instead reacts to James's mental state as the story progresses. It creates the feeling that the environment itself is collapsing along with him, which makes every small glitch feel intentional and meaningful. That's exactly why Silent Hill 2 is still considered one of the most disturbing psychological horror experiences ever created. Not because of constant action or loud scares, but because of quiet moments like this that stay with you long after you stop playing. So now the question is this the creepiest hidden detail you've ever seen in a horror game, or have you found something even darker? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more hidden lore, disturbing secrets, and deep dives into video game mysteries, subscribe for more.